An ICE agent detained me for looking illegal until he saw my police badge. They had been sweeping through my neighborhood every morning for weeks, and with my brown skin and thick black hair, I looked like every other Mexican guy on the block. I looked so Mexican that cashiers in my area always spoke Spanish to me first, then blinked in surprise when I didn't understand. So when a white ICE van pulled up behind me and two white agents came out, I knew they thought I was an illegal immigrant. The bigger one walked straight toward me while his partner hung back his hand resting on his weapon. He instantly screamed, "Documentation now!" I reached for my wallet slowly to show him my ID and police badge, but before I could, the agent grabbed my wrist and twisted it behind my back. Pain shot up my arm as he forced me to my knees on the dirty sidewalk. I calmly said, "Please just check my wallet. Everything's in there." He laughed and pressed his knee into my back. "Sure it is. They all got stories." He dumped my wallet on the ground and scattered everything with his boot. Cash spilled out across the wet concrete. His eyes went wide. "Well, look at that. Drug money for sure." He bent down and picked up the bills one by one, counted them in front of me before shoving them in his pocket. $500. Civil forfeiture. You won't be needing this where you're going. A crowd started gathering. People from the neighborhood who knew me watched in horror, but nobody dared to interfere. The agent seemed to enjoy the audience. "Look at this cockroach, everyone. Thinks he belongs here." He zip-tied my hands so tight I lost feeling in my fingers. When I winced, he pulled them tighter. Blood started seeping from where the plastic cut into my wrists. "My identification is right there. Just look at it." He kicked my wallet further, with my badge inside without glancing down. Then my phone fell out of my pocket and lit up. The screen showed the wallpaper of my wife and daughters at the beach last summer. The agent's eyes narrowed when he saw it. "Well, look at that. The parasite bread." He brought his boot down hard on my phone. The screen shattered. He ground it into the pavement until pieces of glass scattered everywhere. The photo of my family disappeared into spiderweb cracks. "Your little girls are gonna grow up without their daddy. Foster care is gonna love them. Pretty little brown kids always get adopted quick." My vision went red. Those were my babies he was talking about. 6 and 8 years old. They were probably doing homework right now and waiting for me to come home. I bit my tongue until I tasted copper. He yanked me to my feet by my hair. Tears stung my eyes from the pain, but I refused to let them fall. That would just give him more satisfaction. "You know what we call this? Pest control." His partner finally spoke up from the van. "Yo, maybe we should check his ID." He spun around. "You going soft on me? This is the 5th one today. Load it up with the others." He turned back to me and leaned in close. His breath smelled like cigarettes and hatred. "Your wife's probably illegal too. We'll find her next. I'll give her a fun time and send my sloppy seconds to you. I love me a Latina body." He dragged me toward the van by my bound wrists. My shoulders screamed in protest from the angle. There were witnesses everywhere, but he didn't care. He was untouchable and he knew it. "Get a good look, everyone. This parasite thought he could pretend to be American. Thought he could fool us with his fake papers and his lies." He shoved me against the van and pressed his forearm against my throat. Black spots danced in my vision. "You're gonna disappear into the system, months before anyone even knows where you went. Maybe years. Maybe you'll get lucky and they'll dump you over the border in a few weeks." My destroyed phone started ringing from the ground. The agent released my throat and picked up the cracked device. Somehow it still worked. He answered with a smirk. "Juan's phone. He can't come to the phone right now. He's being deported." I heard my captain's voice through the speaker. He was very loud and angry, saying there was an emergency and he needed his sergeant right now. The color drained from his face. He looked at me, then at the badge on the ground, then back at me. His partner had already picked up my badge and was staring at it like it might bite him. "Bro, he's a cop. He's a real cop." He dropped my phone. His hands shook as he fumbled for his knife to cut the zip ties. I didn't move. "I'm sorry. This is a misunderstanding. We can..." Before he could finish his sentence, I told him to call his supervisor and that he should have known better. 20 minutes later, his supervisor showed up. She took one look at me and closed her eyes like she was praying. She knew me. We worked on a joint task force 6 months ago. Both officers got suspended that day. The investigation moved fast. Turns out I wasn't his first mistake, just his first documented one with witnesses and video. The $500 in his pocket upgraded his charges to felony theft on top of the civil rights violations. 6 months later, I testified at his trial. He got 18 months in federal prison for deprivation of rights under color of law and grand theft. Had to resign his law enforcement certification too. No more badge for him ever again. He called me a cockroach. But in federal prison, he will learn what it really meant to be treated like one.